Playing a match against a veteran trickster Yoru always feels like a game of Russian roulette. One moment you're shooting a clone, and on the next, well, you're a goner. The worst part about it is that you don't even see where they killed you from. Sneaky, stylish, and absolutely unpredictable. That's the name of the game whenever you wear Yoru's deceitful mask. And today is the fated day we learn the magician's secrets. So in this video, we're going to be taking a closer look at what makes Yoru the mastermind trickster in Valorant. So lace up your dimensional shoes here as we explore this blue demon's world of illusions. Starting off, we have Yoru's Gate Crash. This utility is what makes Yoru a mobile agent. You can either place Gate Crash on a stationary spot or let it travel into the direction of your choosing. If you want an added layer of confusion for the enemy team, you can also fake activate your Gate Crash to lure them into thinking that you're already nearby or behind them. Now, even though Gate Crash is often used as a get-out-of-jail-free card, there are many ways you can utilize it for the aggressive plays as well. For instance, throwing your Gate Crash in a certain direction allows you to work with a variety of lineups, slipping you unexpectedly deep into enemy territory. Here's a quick look at some of the maps where you can use your Gate Crash to sneakily access risky but rewarding dangerous grounds. Number 1. For attacking on Sunset, head to tiles and stand on this corner here where the hanging gloves are. Then aim your crosshairs towards this brick line on the wall and throw your Gate Crash in that direction. Now, assuming that the door to B market is open, this portal can take you all the way to the enemy spawn for a sneaky backstab. Number 2, for defending on bind, head to B long and stand on this corner near the teleporter. Next, aim your crosshair towards this corner on the window and send your Gate Crash. This is going to help you bypass the enemy's anti-flank utilities for an unexpected flank. Number 3, and finally, for attacking on Lotus, head to the corner of the barrier on C Mound and place your crosshair towards the edge of this inverted L. Sending your Gate Crash will help you get behind your enemies on C, landing directly at CT. Do take note though that this lineup is best paired with a Yoru Flash on site or any loud utility that can mask your teleportation. Additionally, it is best to not overuse these lineups so you can avoid the enemy figuring out where you're coming from. Now, there are many more Gate Crash lineups you can use across the different maps in Valorant, and since Yoru is a natural-born trickster, so feel free to get creative with your playstyle when messing around with your Gate Crash. Just don't forget to let your team know what you're planning to do so they can work around your game plan. Decoy is arguably the best confusion-causing utility in the entire game of Valorant. Now, while to some extent, a little presence of mind can definitely help predict whether it's a clone or not, it can still plant doubts in the minds of your enemies. You can either send the clone from the get-go or prematurely place it in a spot. However, prior placement requires thinking 2 to 3 steps ahead, which often happens if you are a Yoru main. Visualizing the plane in your head before executing it can help the success rate of your game plan absolutely skyrocket. Now, with enough practice, you're also going to be able to make snappy decisions on the fly as you play Yoru. It's also worth mentioning that Decoy works great when paired with either your ult or a flash. For example, flashing out of a smoke is a common tactic, but if you send a clone simultaneously, it would be more confusing for the enemy team. Now, as for your ult, you can send a decoy while you're inside your dimensional drift, which we'll get into further detail later on. Yoru's decoy can also be used to buy time as you try to get the enemy off of defusing the spike. Just do make sure that you're well hidden whenever you send out your clone to make it less obvious for the enemy team. Now, if you're feeling a bit ballsy here, you can also condition the enemy team into thinking that you always send a clone at a certain spot. After a few rounds of conditioning, try to imitate your clone and you might just catch the best timing of your Valorant life. Now, while Yoru is a master of deception, you're going to need a little bit more than a few tricks if you're really looking to climb the ranks in Valorant. Now, as a duelist, you're going to be taking a lot of the fights, and the only thing cooler than pulling off a flashy TP play is getting that sweet match MVP and ranking up right afterwards. And honestly, we can help you do that. Over at SkillCapped, we specialize in helping players that are just like you quickly improve your mechanics and start top fragging your matches in just as little as a few weeks. We're going to teach you everything that you need to know about becoming a top-tier aimer, guaranteeing that you are going to start ranking up or you're going to get your money back. That's right. With our rank improvement guarantee, we promise that you're going to gain 500 RR or you don't pay. Now, if you're curious where an extra 500 RR would land you, feel free to head on over to SkillCapped and check out our free rank calculator to see where you'd end up. Other than that, though, let's take a look at the rest of Yoru's kit. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Well, try telling that to a Yoru who flashes you and ends up behind you with a knife. Yoru's main weapon in his kit is none other than his Blindside. It's basically a unique flash that needs to bounce off a surface to activate it. But of course, other than functioning as a normal flash, it's often used as a sound masking utility to prevent enemies from hearing you teleport elsewhere. Now, there are a number of ways you can utilize his Blindside to max out its capabilities. Starting off with the basics, throw it off a wall, making sure it bounces inward a certain angle you wish to peek. By throwing it on the ground in front of you, you can also easily pop flash out of corners and smokes. Now, for more advanced mechanics, you can actually throw it directly on the ground you're standing on as you move forward. Blindside will activate right beside you, ensuring that you're only half blindsided while your enemies either get their sights removed for a while or be forced to look away as you pick them off. Now, if you haven't heard, Yoru actually comes equipped with a myriad of one-way flashes that allow you or your teammates to peek with ease. Let's take a look at some of the overpowered ones to get your nerdy lineup engines roaring. Number 1. On bind defense, stand near the edge of the wall right outside of lamps. As soon as you hear or feel a presence on a short, throw a flash by aiming towards the line on this pipe. Peek out with your flash to pick off your blinded enemies. Number 2. On split defense, you can do a one-way flash from behind the box on A site once the enemy team pushes from A main or heaven. Simply aim your crosshair towards this wall, then peek out simultaneously. Number 3. Lastly, on a haven defense, hug this wall on C site and aim your crosshair towards this tree branch. Peek out a C long as soon as you throw the flash for easy kills on the unsuspecting enemy team. There's also a lot of room to get creative with your Blindside here, as long as you got a good grasp on the trajectory and map landscape. You can always use the obstacles around you to create unpredictable flashes that'll easily turn duels into your favor. Again, just make sure you communicate with your team properly so you can avoid just full blinding your allies. For the final trick in Yoru's sleeve, we have his ultimate, Dimensional Drift. Yoru's ult allows him to traverse through areas freely while being completely invulnerable from gunshots and utilities. Now, some of the common uses involve getting info in a specific area, recovering the spike, picking up guns, or just simply causing confusion to the enemy team. Using Dimensional Drift requires strategical planning so as not to waste the ult. You'll have to rely on your mental mapping skills to visualize your plan before or even during the execution. Remember that you can use all of your utilities while in the Dimensional Drift, meaning you literally have dozens of plays and combos to come up with as soon as you use it. Now, as an example, let's say a teammate carrying the spike dies in a dangerous spot, leaving the spike deep within the enemy's territory.
Time to jump.
You can send a gate crash towards the opposite site and cast your ult to recover the spike. This will allow you to trick the enemies into thinking that you're ulting to engage in battle when, well, in reality, you have a TP set up in the opposite site to plant easily. Now, of course, at some point, Your enemies will be able to guess your motives as soon as they realize you have an ult ready. This is when you can start playing even more mind games with the enemy team by either deploying a decoy, using a blindside, or faking your gate crash. Think of it as if you're playing chess in Valorant, where you think 2 to 3 steps ahead to ensure you get the checkmate. Now, one of my favorite combos with the Yoru ult is if you have a Fade on your team. It's simply just chaotic how well Fade's Nightfall works with Dimensional Drift. Fade's ult can easily deafen the enemy team while you breeze your way through their backs and they'll never even hear a single sound from you. Now, of course, this play requires the rest of your team to cause mayhem in the front to further sell the backstab. But once you've successfully bypassed their defense, all that's left is to collect your frags for an easy round. Now, SkillCapped always goes the extra mile when it comes to crafting gameplay tips and tricks, and if you don't know that already, well, now you know. If you've made it this far, then you're in for a treat because we're going to be dissecting some of the craziest Yoru rounds by all the pro players. Now, to start it off, we have Nats from Team Liquid.
Okay. Wait, I'll let you know. Do it. Can you flash?
Time to jump.
Flashing jet.
Wait 10 seconds. Wait, I have flashing 8 seconds.
Let me get orb. Wait, let me get orb. I have my ulti. I'll ult side, okay? Wait, ulting side in a second.
My ult's ready.
Could be flank too, nothing.
I'll handle the fake teleport.
Raise too short. One side. On me. You guys can spam him. I'm blocking him. Nice. Picking short.
I'm back.
One enemy remaining.
Good job, bro.
Nat starts the round by sending a gate crash towards Elbow. He then proceeds by sending a decoy to join Jet as she pushes A main. His next move is to TP into Elbow as soon as his teammate Gecko flashes that area. This allowed him and Jet to easily take space in Elbow, especially since no one was guarding that area. However, even if there was someone, they'll either get flashed and killed by Nats or Jet, or they're going to be forced to back away. He continues the side execute by sending another gate crash towards CT. Notice how Nats calms that he's going to flash to site, making sure that Jet is on the same page should she decide to peek or dash right after it. Unfortunately, their execute slows down due to the well-timed molly of the enemy Gecko. Nevertheless, Nats realizes that he's one orb away from his ult, so he decides to back away and claim ult orb. And we all know having a Yoru ult makes it way easier to take site due to the info that it provides. Now, on top of that, it can also force the enemy team to back away or hesitate due to the amount of chaos caused by the dimensional drift. Now, as soon as he ults, he calms Raze and Cypher's location in short, as well as Gecko's on site. Now, here's a prime example of one of the creative plays you can do while in dimensional drift. He basically stands in front of Gecko while preventing him from moving forward. Since his teammates can see this through the minimap, Gecko is an easy target to spam. This play absolutely bamboozles him, leaving him defenseless and eventually just biting the dust. Next, he flashes Raze and Cypher, gets behind cover, and goes out of the ult. He swings the Raze and gets the kill, while his teammate Chamber picks off the final kill. Initially, the round could have gone another route due to the enemy Gecko delaying the push. Thankfully, Nats realizes he can get ult, which greatly helped in taking space on site and winning the round. Now on to our next Yoru contender, we have the king of Sentinels himself, Tins. And what better way to see a Yoru Tins clip than on Bind, am I right?
I'm so sorry. You want Ghost?
Time to hunt. Yeah.
Sky B.
No.
Nah? Okay.
Sky Cypher B.
Okay. Cypher cam high above spawn.
I don't know.
Do you guys want me to smoke?
Go for a TP play now.
I'm dead.
It might be better.
Really close, B.
I'm walking.
Flashing sight.
I
Backside.
You guys, let me know if you want to come in.
I can flash for you to come out with Raze if you want.
Just a second, hold on.
Oh, that's a clone close to me. Ready? Flashing?
Launching smoke. Dim beacon down.
From behind. Oh, nice.
I'm one.
Molly.
One's rotating now. He'll be late. We actually see.
Time to jump.
He's still.
I'll take B. I'll take B.
That shit lasts forever.
I'll
Two of
take
us are
K,
one.
just one.
Planet.
One is elbow. Two.
One's elbow already.
Fake
One
teleport.
enemy
One
remaining.
I'm rewrapping around. I'm rewrapping around. Just stay alive. Just stay alive.
Last player standing.
Pushed out. Nice.
Oh my god.
Now, at the start of the round, you'll notice that Ten's team is on a bonus round. Tens realizes that not everyone in the enemy team can get full shields with complete utilities, so he decides to get an outlaw. And if you're a Tens fan, you know how ridiculously nasty he can be as a sniper, even on attacking. The first thing Tens does is dry peek B long in case there's any early peekers. As soon as Skye gets on the wall, she starts to dog B long to clear garden. Notice how Tens suddenly switches to classic and aim towards the top part of the building. Since he knows they're playing against a Cypher, the spot here that he pre-fires is actually a common spot for Cypher's camera to get early info on B long. Now, it may seem like a trivial thing here, but it actually helps Ten's team a lot, especially if he destroys the camera. This will automatically deny the enemy team from gaining info easily on B long. When Tens notices that Skye has already made it deep into garden, he decides to follow along in that route. Due to Skye spotting the camera's location earlier, as seen on Ten's minimap, he was already able to note that location, allowing him to destroy it from B long. Now, at this point, it's just about time to execute a B hit. And in true Tens fashion here, he gets an easy pick on the Cypher hiding behind the green box. He likely thought that since he just used his camera a while ago, he must have been hiding in that spot. Well, lo and behold, he gets the money shot with his outlaw, making it way easier to take the site due to the removal of Cypher's traps. He then sends a decoy to bait any more enemies on site, while Skye pushes alongside it. Now, unfortunately, Skye gets picked off as Tens tries to flash back sight and wallbang the area as well. He then gets smoked off since the enemy team already knows his location. Nevertheless, this doesn't stop Tens from utilizing a blindside lineup to support his teammates' entry. As soon as he peeks out of the smoke, he gets a quick scope on the Skye, but leaves him with 5 HP. But that doesn't come without a reward though, as this engagement secured the site for his team. Now, before getting settled on site though, Tens throws a gate crash towards the teleporter as a layer of confusion and a potential safety measure. He then holds elbow after noticing that the brim smoke is about to dissipate, and there he spots the enemy brimstone. After whiffing the shot, he backs away into garden and reloads his outlaw. Kaide gets picked off by the enemy Yoru, but their Raze trades it by taking out Jet. All of this was happening while Tens repositions toward hookah. This could have gone really badly because his teammates were getting picked off with him not being able to trade. Thankfully, their Raze eliminates the brimstone, and at this point, Tens finally calms that he's repositioning. This gives Raze the idea to play slow and buy the time for Tens to get a different angle. He sends another gate crash towards B long as he makes his way into hookah. Now, unfortunately, Raze gets picked off by Yoru, but at least Tens was already in hookah. Since the spike is planted open, he can easily spot it from where he is or play time as he sees fit. As soon as Yoru's body pops out, Tens gets the wallbang, granting them a well-deserved bonus round conversion. Oh, if only you didn't retire so soon. Last up is Sentinel's youngest superstar, Zekin. Even in casual, ranked games, Zekin never fails to prove why he deserves to play the duelist role for Sentinels. And this round is an ultimate showcase of how he can be a menace to the enemy team, even without taking all the frags.
Cutting through.
Jump on box, jump on box.
Decoy.
I have dart ready. I mean,
Send that.
Cypher here. Darting.
Surprise.
I'm netting.
Oh fuck.
Killed one.
Oh, one more.
He's netted. Shock dart, the shock.
One enemy remaining.
You got Deagle full armor.
Spawn.
Shit, don't go past it. I thought it did.
Oh.
Grab my Vandal. Two Vandals.
Amazing.
Nice.
As soon as Zekin makes his way near the orb, he sends a gate crash towards site. Since they're likely aware of Cypher's setup, he follows it up with a decoy to trigger the tripwire. Now, if you've played against a Cypher on Abyss, you know how painstakingly difficult it can be to take on a site where he has his setups. Be that as it may, Zekin easily overcomes this challenge with a ghost in his hand and absolutely no fear. Once his gate crash reached the front area of danger, he throws a blindside that activates simultaneously with the decoy, making contact with the tripwire. Basically, that's two utilities that attract attention and can mask the sound cue of his teleport. At that precise moment, Zekin TPs into sight, pushing the unsuspecting Cypher, who was about to check his camera. And just like that, the threat of Cypher's setup has been easily removed, just with Zekin's utilities alone. This allowed the rest of his team to run the site with ease, effectively taking complete control of the site. Zekin proceeds to plant the spike near the edge of the pit, then goes toward backside to support his teammates. He does a ground flash in case there are any peekers from B Link and continues to push forward after his team takes out the Sova. Now at this point he's already feeling it and continues to press on with his ghost against the world. After noting Reyna's presence on the enemy spawn, he decides to throw a gate crash in that direction as a mini distraction while he runs it down. He runs and guns the Reyna, securing a bonus round conversion. His game plan absolutely proves just how much you can do with Yoru's utility, even if there's a noticeable gun difference.
All right, though, guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little bit more about SkillCapped. So we offer a 5-division rank-up guarantee, and we think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's kind of like a gym membership guaranteeing you that you're gonna get ripped. Your local gym would probably go bust if they offered you that. But not us, because we've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium Valorant guides on the internet. We add new courses every month with over 1,000 guides curated into over 50 courses. No one can compare. We also have a direct line of communication with subscribers in our Discord so that you can get connected immediately to some of the best players in the game who will respond to every question you ask. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you're serious about improving your game. So that's going to be all for this one today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.